Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ, I want to talk to you tonight about something that touches every heart. Something God Himself has placed deep within our souls. You see, we live in a world that is searching, longing, yearning for true connection. We swipe, we search, we wait, and we wonder, Lord, when will I meet the one you have chosen for me? But let me tell you something. God is not a God of confusion. He is not a God of accidents. He is a God of divine appointments. And when He introduces you to the one your heart has been waiting for, it is not by chance. It is by His perfect plan. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 3:5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Tonight, I want to show you how God, in His infinite wisdom, introduces you to your soulmate, not through desperation, not through fear, but through faith, obedience, and divine timing. Are you ready to receive what God has prepared for you? Then open your heart, because He is speaking tonight. From the very beginning of time, God has orchestrated every detail of our lives with a purpose beyond what we can comprehend. When it comes to love, when it comes to finding that person who will walk beside us in this life, we must remember that God is never late, never early. He is always right on time. We live in a world that rushes, that pushes, that tells us if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance. But God doesn't operate on human deadlines. He moves according to His perfect wisdom, and His timing is never wrong. We see this truth throughout Scripture. Look at Abraham and Sarah. God had promised them a child, but in their impatience, they tried to take matters into their own hands. They thought God's timing was delayed, so they made their own plan, and it led to heartbreak and conflict. But when God's appointed time arrived, Isaac was born, just as God had promised. The lesson here is clear. When we trust in God's timing, He fulfills His promises in ways beyond our imagination. The same applies to the one He has for you. Many people grow weary in the waiting. They wonder, Lord, have you forgotten me? Have you overlooked my prayers? But let me tell you, God does not forget. He does not ignore. His silence does not mean absence. His delays are not denials. In fact, His timing is a tool of preparation. If God has not yet introduced you to your soulmate, it is not because He is withholding something from you. It is because He is preparing you, refining you, shaping you into the person He has called you to be, so that when the moment arrives, you are ready to receive the love He has ordained for you. Think about the story of Ruth and Boaz. Ruth didn't chase love. She didn't try to force her way into a relationship. She remained faithful, diligent, and obedient. She walked in the path that God set before her. And in His perfect timing, He led Boaz to her. It wasn't by accident. It wasn't random. It was divine timing at work. The same God who orchestrated that meeting is the same God who is working in your life today. The enemy will try to make you restless. He will whisper lies that say, you are running out of time. Everyone else has found their person, but you are still alone. But the enemy is a deceiver. He wants you to act out of fear rather than faith. He wants you to settle for less than what God has planned for you. But let me tell you this, when God is in control, you don't have to chase what is meant for you. You don't have to force a relationship that isn't from Him. What is from God will come at the appointed time, and nothing and no one can stop it. Sometimes we may think we are ready when God knows we are not. There are things in us that need healing, lessons that need learning, faith that needs strengthening before we can step into the relationship He has prepared. A blessing too soon can become a burden, but when God moves, He moves in fullness. He brings the right person at the right time, and when He does, it is undeniable. There is peace, there is clarity, there is purpose. Consider the way God designed creation. The stars, the seasons, the rising of the sun, all are set according to divine order. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is out of place. If God takes such care in the timing of the universe, how much more will He take care in the timing of something as sacred as love? The problem is, we often measure time in days and years, but God measures time in purpose. He is not bound by human calendar. He moves in His own way, and when we trust in Him, we will see that His way is always best. So if you are waiting, do not despair. If you are wondering when, how, or if love will come, know that God has already written the story. He is not waiting for you to find someone. He is waiting for the perfect moment to reveal the one He has already chosen. Keep your eyes on Him. Walk in faith. Serve, grow, and trust that at the appointed time, He will introduce you to the one He has prepared for you. Before God presents you to the person He has chosen for you, He first prepares you. Preparation is not punishment. It is a process, a refining, a shaping of your heart and soul to be ready for the love He has in store. Too often people rush into relationships without allowing God to complete His work in them. They seek love before they seek healing. They desire companionship before they desire wholeness. But a relationship without preparation is like a foundationless house. When the storms come, it crumbles. God does not want that for you. He wants to build something strong, something lasting, something rooted in Him. And for that to happen, He must work on you before He introduces you to the one He has called you to walk with. Throughout the Bible, we see how God prepares His people before their divine appointments. Look at Joseph. He had dreams of leadership, of greatness. But before he reached the palace, he had to go through the pit, the prison, and years of waiting. God was not withholding His promise. He was preparing Joseph to carry the blessing well. The same applies to relationship. If God is taking time before revealing your soulmate, it is because He is preparing you to carry the love He has planned for you. Love is not just about finding the right person. Many people want a godly relationship, but they do not allow God to do the necessary work in them first. They want love, but they carry wounds from their past. They seek connection, but they have yet to develop the patience, humility, and selflessness that love requires. God does not want you to enter a relationship broken, expecting someone else to fix you. He wants you to step into it whole, knowing that only He can complete you. No person, no matter how wonderful, can fill the void that only God is meant to fill. Look at David. Before he became king, he was a shepherd. Before he was honored, he was humbled. God spent years preparing him in solitude before bringing him to the throne. If David had rushed ahead, he would not have been ready to lead. Likewise, if you rush ahead in love before God has finished His work in you, you may find yourself in a relationship you were never meant to be in, carrying burdens you were never meant to carry. The waiting season is not a wasted season. It is a time of preparation. It is a time when God teaches you about yourself, about Him, about the kind of love He has designed. He prunes, He refines, He strengthens your faith. He teaches you patience because love requires patience. He teaches you trust because love requires trust. He teaches you selflessness because love is not just about receiving, it is about giving, serving, and sacrificing. Ruth was a woman who understood preparation. After her husband died, she could have chased after another marriage, but instead she focused on faithfulness. She worked, she served, she positioned herself in obedience. And in God's perfect timing, Boaz noticed her. He didn't find her because she was searching. He found her because she was serving. God was preparing her heart. And when the right time came, He presented her to the one He had chosen. The world will tell you that you need to hurry, that you need to settle, that you need to do things your own way. But God says, let me prepare you first. Because when He presents you, He will present you whole. He will present you with wisdom, with strength, with a heart that is ready to love as He intended. And when that moment comes, you will see that the preparation was never a delay, it was a gift. In today's world, many people are consumed by the idea of finding love as quickly as possible. They search tirelessly, trying to force relationships to work, believing that if they don't take control, they might miss their chance. But God does not operate through desperation. He operates through divine alignment. When He brings two people together, it is not out of panic or pressure, but out of His perfect plan. There is a difference between chasing something and receiving what is ordained. When love is forced, it comes with anxiety, confusion, and uncertainty. But when it is aligned with God's will, it comes with peace, clarity, and purpose. Many times people feel the need to rush into relationships out of fear of being alone. They settle for less than what God has for them because they believe waiting is too difficult. But settling is not the answer. God does not want you to enter a relationship simply because you are afraid of being single. He wants you to walk into love with confidence, knowing that He has prepared someone specifically for you. His blessings do not come through striving, they come through surrender. When we trust His process, we allow Him to bring the right person at the right time. The Bible tells the story of Abraham's servant who was sent to find a wife for Isaac. Instead of wandering aimlessly or trying to make his own decision, the servant prayed for divine direction. He didn't rely on his own understanding. He asked God to align his steps. And in response, God led him to Rebekah. There was no confusion, no guessing, no manipulation, just a clear divine connection. This is how God works when we allow Him to take control. He does not leave us wandering in uncertainty. He directs us with clarity when we trust Him completely. One of the greatest dangers in relationships is allowing emotions to lead instead of God's wisdom. Feelings can be deceptive. What seems right in the moment may not be right in the long run. The enemy often uses impatience to push people into relationships that were never meant for them. He whispers lies saying, if you don't take this opportunity now, you'll never find someone. But God does not use fear to guide His children. He uses peace if a relationship is forcing you to compromise your values. If it is creating anxiety rather than assurance, it may not be from Him. When love is divinely aligned, there is no need for manipulation. You don't have to beg for someone to see your worth. You don't have to force a connection that isn't there. The right person, the one God has for you, will recognize you because God will open their eyes at the appointed time. Look at Adam and Eve. Adam didn't go searching for Eve. God brought Eve to Adam when the time was right. There was no striving, no chasing, no desperation, only divine alignment. Sometimes God keeps certain relationships from forming because He knows they are not part of His plan. He closes doors not to harm us, but to protect us. If a relationship didn't work out, if someone walked away, it may be because God was removing what was not meant for you. Rejection can be a form of divine redirection. Instead of mourning what didn't happen, trust that God has something better in store. When you wait on Him, you will never have to wonder if you made the right choice. He will make it clear. Waiting on divine alignment requires faith. It requires trusting that God's way is higher than our own. It means releasing control and allowing Him to lead. And when we do, we will find that what He has planned is far greater than anything we could have orchestrated on our own. God is not in a hurry, and neither should we be. When He aligns two hearts, it is for a purpose greater than just romance. It is for a calling, a mission, a testimony of His goodness. And that kind of love is always worth the wait. Love, as God designed it, is not just about companionship or romance. It is about purpose. The relationships God ordains are not just for emotional fulfillment, but for a greater calling. When God introduces you to your soulmate, it is not just for your happiness, it is for His glory. He brings two people together, not just to love each other, but to serve Him together. A godly relationship is not just built on attraction or shared interests. It is built on a shared mission, a shared faith, and a shared desire to walk in His will. Many people enter relationships seeking only personal fulfillment, believing that love is simply about making them happy. But true God-ordained love is bigger than that. It is about two people coming together to strengthen each other, to encourage each other in faith, and to fulfill the purpose that God has placed on their lives. When God brings two people together, He does so with a reason beyond what they can see. It is not just about having a partner. It is about building something that will stand as a testimony of His goodness. In the Bible, we see how God designed marriage with purpose. Adam was given a responsibility before he was given a wife. He was created to tend to the Garden of Eden, to walk with God, and to fulfill a role. Then, when the time was right, God brought Eve to him, not just to be his companion, but to be his helper, his partner in the work God had given him. Eve was not an afterthought. She was part of the plan. Together, they were meant to fulfill God's purpose. The same is true for relationships today. When God brings two people together, it is for something greater than themselves. Look at Priscilla and Aquila in the New Testament. They were not just husband and wife, they were partners in ministry. They worked together to spread the gospel, to disciple others, to serve the kingdom. Their relationship was not just about themselves. It was about fulfilling God's plan. When love is rooted in purpose, it is strong. It withstands trials because it is not built on fleeting emotions, but on a firm foundation of faith and mission. A relationship without purpose is easily shaken. When difficulties come, when the excitement fades, when challenges arise, love that is not rooted in something deeper will struggle to endure. But love that is anchored in God's purpose remains strong because it is not built on circumstances. It is built on calling. It is not dependent on personal desires, but on God's plan. This is why it is so important to seek a relationship that is aligned with God's will. When both people are walking in their calling, when both are seeking God first, their love is strengthened by a foundation that will not crumble. Many people chase relationships without considering whether they align with their purpose. They fall for someone based on emotions, attraction, or convenience, only to realize later that they are walking in different directions. But God does not want you to be with just anyone. He wants you to be with someone who will walk with you in faith, who will encourage your spiritual growth, who will stand beside you as you fulfill His calling on your life. The enemy wants people to settle for relationships that distract them from God's plan. He wants them to compromise, to choose comfort over calling, to prioritize personal happiness over divine purpose. But God's design for love is different. It is meant to strengthen, not weaken, to build up, not tear down, to draw both people closer to Him, not further away. The right relationship will push you toward God, not pull you away from Him. It will inspire you to become more, to grow deeper in faith, to serve with greater passion. Finding the right person is not just about compatibility, it is about alignment. Are you both pursuing God with the same passion? Are you both committed to His calling? Are you both willing to build something that lasts beyond this life? These are the questions that matter. Love that is rooted in purpose is not easily shaken. It stands firm, it grows stronger with time, and it fulfills a calling that is bigger than either person alone. When God introduces you to your soulmate, it is not just for your joy, it is for His kingdom. My friends, love is not a game of chance. It is not something we must chase, manipulate, or fear we will miss. It is something God has already written into the story of our lives. When He introduces you to your soulmate, it will not be by accident, but by divine appointment. His timing is perfect. His preparation is intentional. His alignment is undeniable, and His purpose is greater than we can imagine. So do not grow weary in the waiting. Do not settle for less than what He has ordained. Instead, seek Him first. Trust that He is preparing you even when you cannot see it. Know that when love comes from God, it does not bring confusion, but clarity. Not desperation, but peace. The one He has for you will not just be a partner in life, but a partner in faith, a partner in purpose, a partner in a love story written by the Creator Himself. Stand firm in faith. Walk in obedience. And when the time is right, you will see that God's plan for love is always greater than anything we could have planned for ourselves. If you trust Him, if you follow Him, if you surrender to His will, He will not just bring you a soulmate. He will bring you a love that glorifies Him and stands the test of time.